Hey guys, it's Camilla from Code with Camilla. Today will be the last video about functions.
Yes, so I think you've probably been asking the question, what will happen if you call the function from another function, call yourself, right? What will happen, for instance, if we had a function like, let's call it func1, and it doesn't do anything but call itself, what will happen, do you think, if I call it? So you have to call it from somewhere. This is the initial call, right? So this initial call makes a call to this function, which makes a call to itself. What do you think it's going to happen?
It's just going to print itself.
Let's print something, right? And it should be double quotes. You see, it says recursion. And it's through exception. What happened is, it's all sort of bad things happen. So fortunately, MacBook or macOS was able to see that this program running indefinitely. It was running indefinitely. That's what was happening. So it's like a loop, never-ending loop, right? You see? And it was taking more and more and more and more memory in the on the computer, and that's why the operating system on MacBook decided to kill it. But if in different operating systems, it may not kill, it may just run and it just use up all the memory on your computer and just all sorts of bad things. So you would ask, why would anyone in this case to call a function and get the same result? Is there any use for those things? It turns out there is a use, very limited use. The thing we did called recursion. So it's recursively calling itself. So recursion, like to explain what recursion is, imagine so a child has parents, right? They are his ancestors, and his parent has parents, those ancestors of his parents, but also ancestors of the child, and ancestors of ancestors are child ancestors. So it's like, this is recursion. This is called like
Never-ending loop.
so it's going up, 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 up. It's like calling itself, right? One of the classic examples of recursion called Fibonacci numbers.
Oh, yeah.
So the Fibonacci number is, so each number is a sum of two numbers less than, so two previous numbers. So 1 is 0 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 1, 3, 1 plus 2, so 13, 8 plus 5, you see? So these are Fibonacci numbers, and it's very important thing, because what they do golden ratio. It's one of the things that architects use to build beautiful buildings. So how we can use recursion, and it's obviously recursion, right? Because what it's doing, it's always calling based on previous results. It's like ancestors of ancestors, they're based on previous ancestors, right? So let's, if we want to build Fibonacci function, so let's call it fib, and if you look on the sequence, so it starts from 0. So if we pass the index in this case, so if we say we want a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you want to know the fifth element in Fibonacci, right? So if you go back, and so this will be index, int index, right? And we want to call let's print the value of the index fib, and we want to know the fifth number. So let's see how it's going to work. If index is 0, we return
0.
0. If index is 1, we return
1.
1. But for all other indexes, what we return same function.
Don't you have to write else return?
The thing is, if it doesn't happen, right? Yeah, you can do it here, else, right? Let's do else, right? Let's make it pretty. So for all other numbers except 0 and 1, what we call index minus 1 plus, so the number with the index, previous index, and previous index, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So let's run and see what's gonna happen. So if we run 5, it's supposed to be 5. If we run 6, what's the next one after 5?
8.
Let's see. So how it works? It's a little tricky to understand. Let's see. It's an empty text file. We could do debugger to understand what is happening, but the thing is, it's very hard to debug these things. Well, I can show you why. If you run this one, so the first index is
0.
6.
6.
That's the one
Oh,
we
yeah.
called, right? So if you call next one, it says 5. Next one, 4. Next one, 3. So what's happening? Let me explain you what's happening. So when you call, say, fib 5, right? What it's doing, it's calling two fibs, fib 4 and
Fib
fib
3.
3. The thing is, fib 4 is calling fib 3 and
Fib 2.
fib 2. And fib 3 calling fib
2.
2 and fib 1. And fib 2 calling fib 1 and
Fib 0.
fib 0. And fib 1 returns 1. So what happens, it takes this number 1, right, passes here, so it gets 1. Fib 0 returns 0. Fib 1 returns 1. So 1 plus 1 is 1, but then it does 1. So it's really 1. Then fib 1 equal 1 and fib 2 equal 1. The 3 will be 2. Now this one is 1. 1 plus 2 will be 3. You see? Then 3 here. So it's lots of calculations. It's probably 2, right? So 2. And finally 2 calls 3, and it's going to be 5. So you see how many calls it's doing. That's why it's using all your memory up, because it's calling. So each call is split to 2 calls, which split to 2 calls, which split to 2 calls. That's what recursion is. There are very limited number of times when you need recursion, but this is one of the interview questions I'm asking prospective students. So if you want to be someday interviewing for computer job, for programmer job, expect this question to be asked, because this is one funny thing, rarely used, almost never, but you have to understand what it's doing. So to recap, calling function from itself is like a loop, and we always know the rules of loops, right? They have to be definite. So they have to have like a way to stop. If you, it's very easy to make a never-ending loop, which will cause exceptions, and the program will die. So what we did in this function, we had stopping points. So they stop at 0 and they don't go lower. If we remove these lines and leave only this, right? What the rules, it's still Fibonacci function. If you run it, what will happen is it will run. It will throw exception because it will run indefinitely until it dies.
Okay, that's it for today on Code with Camilla. Come back next week for more videos.